My name is Alice Pennefather, and I have a small film company called Pennefather Films, and we make short dance films. So I co-wrote, co-produced, and then I directed and self-shot Dreams of Giverny. We had a lovely choreographer called Valentino Sicchetti, and our, of course, beautiful dancers Annabelle Pickering and the incredible Sarah Lamb of the Royal Ballet Company, and a wonderful producer, Charles Haswell, and I also worked alongside my brother Rupert Pennefather, who used to be a principal with the Royal Ballet Company. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the location of our film, our short film, which we shot entirely on location in and around the water lily pond and the gardens of Claude Monet in Giverny, France. So the whole story takes place in these gardens, and the location is actually key to the whole story and sort of how the film sort of comes together as a whole. We wrote to the Fondation Claude Monet and sent them like a sort of film proposal, I suppose, with a kind of a storyboard and a basic outline of what we wanted to do and how long it would take and what we wanted to try and achieve. And sort of just kind of crossed all of our fingers and toes and hoped that they'd be up for considering our request. And we had a really lovely email back, and they said, yeah, they're up for meeting us, and we went along to Giverny to actually meet the people who run, because it's kind of like an open garden now, and the house is a museum. So we went to the people who run that, and we had a big talk and had a look around the gardens and everything. And they were really helpful, really accommodating. There were literally thousands of people going through those gardens every day, and they couldn't close any of the sections of the garden for us in particular. So we really had to work around their opening hours. So we had about 2.5 hours in the morning, sort of from 7 till 9:30. And then it closes to the public around 5:36, and so we had about another 2.5 hours until it got dark in the evening. Which is why we also decided to film in August, when we hopefully had a bit more daylight hours. So we took the Eurostar over from London to Paris, and then went out to have a look at the gardens in Giverny, just so that we could, because we were so tight on time in terms of when we were actually allowed to film, we only actually had about 12 hours in total to make the whole film, which was spread over 2 mornings and 2 evenings. We needed to make sure we knew exactly where we wanted to film and exactly at what time and how we were going to go about it and which parts of the garden that we wanted to use in our filming. So 3 location recce's. One was with our producer Charles Haswell, and another producer that we worked with, Cottier Thorogood. We all went over and just check the general location and check that it was going to be an achievable, a usable space. And then the second time we went over with our choreographer, and then the third time was with my brother Rupert, who's also a dancer. So the visits with my brother and the choreographer were particularly helpful, just because they're both dancers. Valentino is obviously the choreographer, and we wanted to check out what the surfaces were like that the dancers would be using, and to just make sure that they were all going to be actually we could actually dance on these floors, because obviously dancers are used to dancing on either wooden floors or like sprung floors or stages, and we were asking them to dance and perform on grass and on the bridge, the iconic, beautiful Monet's bridge over the Japanese bridge, is what I'm trying to say. And we just needed to make sure that this was all going to be achievable. Now, it was so helpful to do these recce's, because there were some areas that really weren't going to work. So yeah, we had to be very specific about the areas that we wanted to use and really refine our locations to I think we had maybe 1, 2, 3 or 4 specific places in the gardens which we decided to use. So we used obviously around the water lily pond, we used the Japanese bridge, and we used one area of grass just in front of the house, which was a really beautiful sort of stage area for Sarah to perform her solo. And then we used the avenue of those beautiful nasturtiums that leads all the way up to the house. Giverny was definitely vital in our story. Obviously we had a concept that we wanted to create this film within the garden of Claude Monet. What I really was aware of being in the space was just how much the light changes the landscape and changes the way that the light falls onto the bridge and onto the water lily pond and onto the water. I really, being there at different times of the day, was aware of that shifting light and just how much it must have inspired and frustrated Claude Monet in trying to depict that light on canvas. We didn't use any artificial light. We used all natural light. Sometimes we used a reflector just if we were doing a little close-up on Sarah or Belle. We used a little reflector just to kind of get a bit of fill onto their faces, but other than that it was completely all natural light. I think it really helped that our choreographer could come on a location recce because he was able to see the location and the floors that Sarah would be dancing on, and so he was very mindful of that, and the steps that he used, the choreography that he created was all done in a very mindful way to make sure that it would suit the floor that each part of the choreography would be taking place, and to just make sure that, you know, if it was going to be on grass, then he wouldn't be doing anything that, you know, she might be able to slip, or we didn't use any big jumps or anything, just to make sure that she was safe. And all the choreography on the bridge was done mindfully because it was a wooden bridge, and it's got sort of metal pieces that come across, which is supposed to help with non-slip, but actually when you're on point it can create quite a hazard. So we had to make sure that we were creating choreography that wasn't going to put the dancers in any danger. I just wanted to finish off by saying once again thank you so much for screening our short dance film Dreams of Giverny at your fantastic festival, and we're so delighted to be part of the 2018 Utah Dance Film Festival. We hope that next year we'll be able to come and join you in person and screen our next film, The Sun is God, which we're really excited about. So we really hope to see you in 2019, but until then, enjoy this year, and I really hope you enjoy our film, and thanks for having us.